This deeply emotional story of a Saudi prince moved hearts across the globe. 20 years ago, he slipped into a coma, earning the name, the Sleeping Prince. For years, people held on to hope, praying for a miracle that never came. Tragically, his life ended at the age of 36. But what truly happened during his final days? Why was his father the only one by his side? Where had his mother been all these years? What really caused his death? And who was the woman he was once engaged to? To uncover the full truth behind this heartbreaking journey, keep watching. Prince Al-Waleed was born into the powerful and immensely wealthy Saudi royal family. As the grandson of a former king, his early life was filled with privilege, comfort, security, and endless opportunities surrounded him. At just 16, he was sent to study at a prestigious military academy in London. His future seemed incredibly bright, a young royal, full of intelligence and ambition, destined for great things. But in one tragic moment, everything changed. A devastating car crash shattered his dreams. The vehicle collided with a concrete barrier at high speed, leaving him with a severe head injury and extensive brain damage. He wasn't alone at the time. 2 of his friends were in the car and were more fortunate. According to unofficial reports, when the prince briefly regained consciousness, his first words were, "How are my friends?" before slipping back into unconsciousness. That single act of concern came to symbolize his compassion and gentle spirit. Doctors did everything they could to save him, but the extent of the injuries was too great. Al-Waleed fell into a deep coma, and his prognosis was grim. Doctors believed he wouldn't survive more than 3 days. But his father refused to accept that fate. He didn't allow the medical team to disconnect life support. "Who am I to take his life? If God wanted to take him, it would have happened already," he said. Sharing a photo of himself holding his son's hand, he wrote online, "The one who preserved his life can also heal him." Soon after the accident, the prince was moved to a top-tier medical center in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. This marked the beginning of the long, painful journey of the Sleeping Prince. But what lay beneath this tragedy? Could music or spiritual practices like Quranic recitation influence his condition? Prince Khalid, Al-Waleed's father, dedicated his entire life to caring for his son. He hired world-class specialists and spared no expense in searching for a cure. Over 2 decades, the family spent millions on treatments and experimental therapies. Doctors from the US and Europe, experts in coma care, were brought in to help. Nurses became like family, attending to Al-Waleed day and night. They carefully turned his body to prevent bedsores and spoke to him as though he could hear every word. His room was always calm, with only the soft sounds of medical equipment breaking the silence. A decade later, his father had him moved to a specially built room inside the royal palace. It was equipped like a hospital, complete with machines, floors, and constant nursing care. Khalid visited daily, reading to his son and sharing updates about the family. "I believe he hears me," he would say, softly holding his son's hand. Khalid never gave up hope, and then, a sign. Al-Waleed began responding slightly to voices and touch. His head would move gently, especially when the Quran was recited near him. The family even arranged for classical musicians to play for him, believing the sound might stimulate his mind. Although the treatments were incredibly costly, Khalid was willing to spend anything to bring his son back. Princess Rima, his cousin, shared a video of the prince moving his head left and right. A year later, during a medical procedure, a nurse witnessed him twitch his fingers, a small but powerful moment that revived hope once again. The emotional moment was captured on video. A nurse's voice, filled with emotion, encouraged him gently, "Good job, do it again." That clip, along with others, quickly circulated online, capturing the hearts of millions and becoming a viral sensation. People from all over the world began sending well wishes, praying for the recovery of the boy now known as the Sleeping Prince. His family clung to hope, and his father, Prince Khalid, believed it was a divine sign. However, medical professionals urged caution, explaining that such movements could occur even in a vegetative state and didn't necessarily mean consciousness was returning. But for Khalid, every small twitch or motion felt like a miracle, a sign that their long, painful journey had not been in vain. As the story gained more traction, the father continued posting updates online, gathering widespread sympathy. Yet one question kept resurfacing in people's minds: where was his mother? Why was her pain never acknowledged publicly? In numerous articles and media pieces, the sleeping prince was portrayed as a symbol of perseverance, patience, and a father's undying hope. Prince Khalid became the public face of this emotional saga, speaking out, posting videos, and commenting on every sign of progress his son showed. Support poured in from around the globe, with many admiring his strength and dedication, almost as if he alone bore the entire burden of Al-Waleed's fate. Meanwhile, the prince's mother remained virtually absent from the public narrative. But that didn't mean she wasn't present. Like many Muslim women, she chose to stay behind the scenes, avoiding cameras, interviews, and social media. Though not part of the public campaign, those close to the family said she experienced the same heartache and clung to the same hopes. There were also quiet whispers that before the accident, Al-Waleed had been engaged. Reportedly, his fiancée was his cousin, a match arranged since they were children, as is often customary. Some claimed she never married and continued visiting his family over the years. While never officially confirmed, her presence became part of the story people told, perhaps because it added another layer of devotion and hope to an already emotional tale. People love believing in miracles, even when they sound like fiction. Unfortunately, tragic stories involving young Arab princes are not uncommon. Their passion for speed, risk, and adventure often ends in heartbreaking consequences. Crown Prince Rashid Al Maktoum of Dubai and Sheikh Khalid Al Qasimi, son of Sharjah's ruler, were known for their vibrant, daring lifestyles. Charismatic and fearless, they lived boldly, but many believe those choices led to their tragic fates. Prince Abdul Azim, son of Brunei Sultan, became a known figure in the film industry and enriched the country's cultural life. Likewise, Prince Abdul Jalil of Malaysia was admired for his good deeds and became beloved by the people. These young men left their marks before their lives were cut short. But Al-Waleed's fate was different. At just 15, his life came to a sudden halt. For the next 20 years, he remained in a hospital room, sustained by machines, his future frozen in time. He recently turned 36. The birthday passed quietly, marked only by close family and a few decorations in his hospital room. No one could have predicted it would be his last. Doctors had always said his case was extraordinary. It was extremely rare for someone to survive this long in a coma, especially after such severe brain trauma. Most people in similar conditions pass away within weeks or months. But Al-Waleed's body held on for 2 decades. Eventually, the complications caught up: infections, organ failure, and significant weight loss. In the end, it was his heart that gave out. After 20 years of fighting, it simply stopped. His father announced the heartbreaking news on his blog, quoting verses from the Quran with deep sorrow. With hearts accepting God's will and deep sorrow, we mourn our beloved son. May Allah have mercy on him, who left us today, he wrote, offering thanks to everyone who had prayed for Al-Waleed over the years. News of the sleeping prince's death spread quickly, and condolences poured in from across the world. His story serves as a powerful reminder of life's uncertainty. Tragedy doesn't discriminate; it can strike anyone, regardless of their wealth or position. What truly matters is how we endure those moments, with faith, love, and hope. Al-Waleed's family embodied that resilience. Though his life was mostly lived in silence, he will be remembered as the sleeping prince, a symbol of strength, devotion, and hope against the odds. What are your thoughts on this touching story? Feel free to share them in the comments. If you were moved by this story, don't forget to like the video and share it. Until next time.